Up already. Welcome to Still Talking Uncut. I'm your host, Big Easy, joined by my co-host Sean Rigsby. We got a special guest, honored to have my man, an amazing comedian, Moonshiner, TV star, our boy Killer Beaz. Welcome to the show, my man. It's a pleasure. Love the
Hey,
Bucky shirt.
dude, thank you, man. I am so tickled to get to be on with you guys. This is a hoot, man. And here's what's something weird about Bucky's. For those that don't know, I'm a professional stand-up comic. Been doing it for 42 years. Time out. Hey, Sean. All right, I'm back. Anyway, so my tour, this last time we went out, we were out for 5 out of the past 6 weeks touring. And the other week I was filming with Moonshiners, but I have been to 9 different Bucky's. That's how big a tour I have been on this season. 9 different Bucky's. And Sean, get this. Every time I'm there, Bucky is there. I'm like, dude, I just saw you. We were in Lexington. Remember, that's me, Beaz. And he does which means, yeah, I do remember.
Nice. They're building one right by me and Sean.
Yep. Yeah, we got the same booker or something, so we end up for Bucky's. So
yeah, they're building one right in between me and Sean.
Now, where is that?
Dayton, Ohio, just like the 70-75 interchange.
Y'all are near Dayton, Ohio?
Yes.
Yep.
Dude, I love Dayton, Ohio. I used to work 42 years doing stand-up. I can't remember the name of all the different comedy clubs, but I used to do shows in Dayton, and we would go to the Wright-Patterson Air Force Museum. I love airplanes. I've loved airplanes since I was a kid.
Nice.
But what a great museum at Wright-Patterson Field, man. That is a badass place.
And I think it's one of the biggest in the country. They've added a lot to it over the last 3 or 4 years. So next time you come in town, man, we'll get together and go. I used to love taking the kids.
We'll do that, man. I love that place. They've got that first little jet plane, that little jet fighter that the Germans came up with, the ME-260. Something, you've seen that? It looks like a little bat kind of.
Yep.
It was real late in the war, so it didn't do any good, but it was like the first jet fighter plane ever.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I thought y'all needed to know that. I have my finger on the pulse of society, sir. So I just knew that there were millennials out there going, I wonder if there's some kind of bat-looking aircraft that they come up with back in those timely days that we could have to sit and listen to.
The Batwing for Batman,
That. There's that.
Hey, and it's free.
Hey, that's cool. This is cool being on y'all's podcast. It's a lot of fun to me. I have so much time that I have to spend on the road that it's fun to be home back in the crib. I'm chilling up in the crib. And so it is cool that I get to just not be on stage for once or not be on camera with Discovery Channel. So thank you very much, Don.
Just hanging out and going to shoot shit, so.
We got to put a band together.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, easy on the bongo drums.
That. Let me tell you, here's what I've learned in my many years in showbiz. If you're going to hire a bongo player, get an old guy, because a lot of them have palsy, and it just helps them keep moving. So just a tip from a guy that's been around.
You learn a few things on the road, huh?
Yep. Dude, I've been doing stand-up professionally 42 years. So nice. That is an amazing thing to me. And before I did that, of all things, y'all, Big Easy, get this, my friend, I worked in a 911 ambulance. I was the guy. I started that gig in 1972 when I was a senior in high school in Jackson, Mississippi. I think that I was the youngest person in the history of that state to run emergency calls in an ambulance. And so I was the guy that worked on you in the back, and I was hilarious.
I can imagine.
I don't know how appreciated it was, but I was pretty good. Me and my partner we were the young guns. We were like little bitty skinny guys, and we'd go on these calls, man, where there'd be like, big, heavy people. And I was the king of like, so your leg looks so ratchet. Get a selfie with it. That has got to hurt. Let me ask you, what do you weigh? 362 pounds. That is amazing. Can you crawl over to that ambulance and get in it?
Sounds like you're talking to me.
I'll hold your beer. Thank you.
So I can help you get up. I can't lift you up. So
no lie, dude. No lie.
So how did you go about getting into comedy? I mean,
Sean, number one, and honest answer, number one, I did not do my homework growing up. So that was part of it. I had no formal skilling other than 3 years in a 911 ambulance, yada, yada, yada. But I was playing blues guitar in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. And my last name is Beasley, and people call me Beaz since I was a little bitty. All my friends call me. You know how they'll abbreviate your last name.
Understand.
So, right. So I played in these little blues bands, and I would go out in front of whatever band I was in and do my little guitar thing. And the people that knew me would go, "That was Killer Beaz." And the people didn't know me thought it was Killer Beaz on guitar. So now I had that little name, guitar playing. So I was working, and I've been funny since I was a little bitty baby. I've been funny since I was teeny little. And so I was working in a guitar store, selling guitars, playing blues on weekends. And this band, the house band at a high profile venue in Jackson, Mississippi, came in and went, "Dude, Kenny, the guy that runs it, needs a comedian. You should go do it." And I had heard that all my life. Wittiest and good. I've been funny since I was a baby. But anyway, so I went down and told the guy, "Man, I'm a funny MFer." And then I go, "Ask anybody's mom." And he gave me the gig. So my first time there.
Nothing plays like a mom joke.
Dude, I walked in there, but literally my earliest memories is of being funny as a child. I grew up in a funeral home in Jackson, Mississippi, Kosciuszko. My dad was an embalmer, and I was a toddler and had the run of the place. And I saw all these sad people come and go from where I live. And I learned that I could do cute little silly stuff. This is my oldest memories. I could do cute little silly stuff, and the crying people would stop crying and come over and talk to me and smile. So I think that's fueled my compulsion my entire life to make people laugh and smile. So, and I did that even when I worked in the ambulance. So it's been really, y'all, a labor of love to have my career. I'm one of those very blessed people that do absolutely what I love for a living. Yeah, it is absolutely amazing, dude. Absolutely. And I luckily, thankfully, I get it, and I am thankful and appreciate it, because I'm in such a cool situation. There's work involved. You got to work, you got to bust your ass, but really, really blessed. I'm one of those rare people, and it is only in the last number of years dawned on me. I wish I had the same heart set, if you will, now. I wish I had that same heart set then, to understand just how blessed I am to get to this 42 years doing stand-up. What is that? Getting to make people laugh and smile. So I am absolutely one of those absolutely grateful cats at what I get to do.
So
I just share that with you, man.
Yep. So are you from Mississippi, or are you from Tennessee, or?
I was born in Andalusia, Alabama, little bitty town that's near a smaller town called Opp. But I was in Mississippi when I was a preschooler, by the time I was a preschooler. So I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi, and started my comedy career there. And then went from Jackson. I got some traction doing stand-up. I've been real blessed in my career. Got some traction doing that, and went to Nashville, Tennessee, to Zany's Comedy Club. It's like one of the A rooms in the country, and did an open mic guest set. And the management drugged me into the office and talked me into moving from Jackson, Mississippi to Nashville, Tennessee, and they managed me for a number of years. And that's when I got in with TNN and CMT. I did 100 appearances on TNN back in the day when I had my big giant mullet. Sean, y'all, Big Easy, I had a mullet, dude. I had like a big, gigantic mullet. And
Pictures
so
or it didn't happen.
Do what?
Pictures or it didn't happen.
He's just mad because he's running from his.
Hey, bro, I would kill for a mullet. I'm not gonna lie. I would commit. I would do bad things if somebody would just let me have one for a week and it was real.
You would kill for a freaking bun.
Mustache.
I would, man. Anything, man. Like
you'd kill for a top knot.
I would. Like I would kill for Homer Simpson hair. Just two little nice strands coming out of the top. Give me anything, at this point, anything.
Man, it's a double-edged sword. One time I decided when I had my big giant mullet that I was going to get it permed. I have no idea what overcome me to think I wanted my freaking head permed, but I got a perm in my big giant showbiz mullet, and it was ringlets. I looked like Shirley Temple. Y'all are young. I don't know if you can get that reference, but I was like, oh my God.
So my little girl has real curly hair, and that's what everybody says that meets her. They're like, "Oh, you look just like Shirley Temple."
Okay, well then that's not a bad reference. Look at me roll.
That's right. When I was in high school, I had hair, and I dyed it just straight blonde. Just straight blonde. I enjoyed it while I had it. I just wish I could have enjoyed it more. So, JJ said hello there, Beaz.
Oh, is that Jay? Is that Joe Jackson?
Yes, sir, old Joe Jackson.
He is so much fun. Oh my God.
I got to see him Saturday, man. I love JJ. Got to try his malted blue corn liquor he got put out. He has bottle released, and I got to try it. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's real good.
Hey, let's all chime in right now. JJ, thanks for your service, buddy. Love you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, JJ, and anybody else listening. Thank you.
Excellent. You know what? My draft number from Vietnam was 257, and they ended up not calling me. So, if they had told me, come on, I'd have had to have gone, but they didn't. So I'm like, all right, well, it's cool. Because it was pretty ratchet at that point in time. So,
how you doing, Tater?
Sean, real quick, man, your Sugarland release, are you getting traction on that? I mean, I see some social media stuff going on with you.
I mean, nothing more than normal. I mean, a lot of people's reached out to me, asked me how to get it, where to get it, how much it costs. But I mean, other than that, not a whole lot, really, to be honest.
Are they shipping it? Can people have it shipped?
Nope. It's only available at the Gatlinburg Distillery, downtown Gatlinburg.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
gotcha. I suspect I'll be over that direction next month. So,
okay.
I'll be out doing some science with Digger and them.
Some science, huh?
Yeah, which is hilarious.
So that's something to touch base on. So how did you come about meeting them and
getting into making liquor?
Well, and that's it's a good question. Probably almost 30 years ago, I was doing some shows in Nashville, and the venue was keeping me at the big giant, then it was called the Opryland Hotel. It's the Gaylord Properties now, but a big giant $1 billion hotel in Nashville. And it was probably, Sean, like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was on an elevator by myself. The door opened, and this hillbilly looking fella in overalls come rolling luggage cart in, not a stitch of luggage on it, but a bunch of cardboard boxes full of jars, and some of them were kind of wet. So I looked at him, he looked at me, and I went, "What's in them jars?" Like that. And he goes, "Who are you?" "Well, I'm Killer Beaz." "Well, I'm Digger." So that's when we first met. So we allegedly, they say we partied at that hotel. Okay, I'm not here to give testimony on any of that, as it be. Anyway, then fast forward 25, 30 years, something like that. I'm doing a concert in Bristol, Tennessee, and I get a hit on my Twitter feed. "Beaz, it's Mark and Digger from Moonshiners." And I had seen the show. "It's Mark and Digger from Moonshiners. We're big fans." And I'm like, "Digger, I know that guy." It goes, "You're in our neck of the woods. Come see us." So my wife, who I married my manager, by the way. So I married the lady who owns a company that books me. So, whoop. Anyway.
Hey, you know, if you go, she's gonna pay her. She's gonna spend your money anyways. You know,
I'm telling
you, right? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, unlike everybody else whose wife spends her money, mine gets me on the Grand Ole Opry.
That's right. Yeah. It's wise man logic. You know, I hope y'all are listening. Young fellas, pay attention. You know, pay attention.
I'm telling you, you got to you got to work the bait.
That's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we had driven up to Johnson City, or Bristol. So I'm like, "Look, we need to go by there and see them," because I'm already thinking I need to be on that show because I was already a fan. And I could tell she was like, "You and Moonshine, that's all I need." But we went and I know, right? So we hung out with Digger and hit it off. We both have a background in the mortuary sciences. His company owned funeral homes, his family owned funeral homes. I was an apprentice embalmer. So we hit it off. So he said to us during breakfast before we left, because we spent the night, he goes, "Man," he goes, "look," he goes, you need us to, I need to teach you to make moonshine." And I thought, "You need to get me on that show." But I didn't say it. I was really cool. For once, I kept my mouth shut. Like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting." So we're driving home, and I'm just hammering corporate. I'm telling, "Man, my demographics, yada, yada, yada." And she's just like, "Oh, my God, I cannot believe this." So anyway, but she gets it. So we took off work for a month in June. June is hard to get people to come to live performance because they've been on the river all day, been on the lake all day, been on the ball field all day. So that's kind of a slower time for performance artists. It sounds weird. Anyway, so I went up to Digger's place for a full month, and Digger and myself and JB Raider made moonshine. Those were my teachers when I first started. I guess it's been 8 years ago now, 8 or 9, whatever. Was Digger Manus and JB Raider.
That's amazing.
So I know, right? So we did peach moonshine, cranberry moonshine, and corn liquor during that month that I was there. And during that, for a lot of people who know or do not know, Digger has a really neat cabin on a live creek in the mountains. And I just stayed there for the month. Has little trout in it, all this kind of stuff. But anyway, so we would mash in there, and I tended the mash barrels and so forth and so on. So during this month, I was being really cool about not saying, y'all need to get me on the show, you know,
Biting your tongue,
I
huh?
mean, right, because it's international TV. I mean, we get fan mail from Australia, the UK, Germany, all this stuff, and having been at the time over 30 years as a stand-up comic, you know, when you're in any industry, you have to sort of reinvent yourself, repackage, new ingredients, yada, yada, yada. So I'm thinking, so this would really help me out. So while me and Digger and JB are out there up in the mountains, mashing in, running, they have phone service and they're talking to Discovery Channel and about the new season. And they're kind of, Digger and were trying to get me on the show because we hit it off. We became blood brothers immediately. And so New York was kind of balking, well, why do we need this guy, yada, yada, yada. And they were saying that they wanted more money deals. We need bigger money deals, because people want to see everybody's industry, everybody's operation grow. So while we were out there talking about that, it dawned on me that I know everybody in Nashville. And I did a bunch of projects in old timey days and then am on an album with the Leonard Skinner band. So I called my buddy Ed King from Leonard Skinner, who co-wrote Sweet Home Alabama, plays all that guitar on it, and told him, man, I need to help me out with something. He goes, what's that? I go, it'll help my career. He goes, anything.
Calling in a
He
favor.
goes, I know, right? He goes, anything. I go, well, I need you to buy $30,000 worth of gin. This is when Mark and Digger made that big ass batch of gin up in the
I remember
woods.
that. If it was
Yeah,
on.
way back in old timey days. And so I go, look, dude, I go, it's gin, it's handmade, it's from the woods. And I don't remember how many gallons, but it was a $30,000 deal. And at the time, that was the biggest deal on the history of that show. So I'm talking to this lead guitar player from Skinner. Man, I need you to help me out with something. He goes, what do you need? I need you to buy $30,000 of illegal moonshine in your home on camera.
Okay,
So,
nice.
yeah, he's like, I'm gonna have to call you back.
That's great, man.
Where's my wife?
Right. So we went a couple of weeks.
We do it in the garage.
Dude, and look. So he was like, yeah, I want to do that, man. That'd be cool. But his wife Sharon is the gatekeeper. Same thing with my wife, corporate. We call her corporate. If people want to get to me, they got to go through corporate, So Ed goes, dude, you got to talk to Sharon. I'm like, oh my, I mean, that was pucker factor right there.
Yeah.
So I talked to Sharon a little bit, and then finally she goes, well, you know what? This new house we bought, she said, it's a freaking mansion. This new house we bought has all these jars of water, jugs of unlabeled water in the basement. She goes, maybe that'd be a good place to stash the moonshine. And then I was like, they're in.
Yeah,
So I come to I go, look, dude,
that ain't water.
Look, I don't even know what I'm doing yet. I'm bootlegging already. I go, man, I can bring the Skinner guy in. He will buy that gin for 30 grand if you'll let me do it, if they'll put me on. And so he calls back up to New York and look, man, Beaz landed a freaking deal, and I had never bootlegged in my life. Just
Beaz got Skinner. Beaz got Skinner.
I know. And so used to back when me and JB and Digger were out in the woods just on our own doing these runs, and Digger would send like a text, to one of the big wigs. It'd be like 2 or 3 days before anything. So I told her, look, man, the Skinner guy will come do it. I've got this so we can actually pull this off. We can film it in his mansion. And so and you got to be hush hush about it. You can't just go tell everybody. But I'm telling
for sure.
this. So he sent the guy a text, and 10 seconds later, Digger's phone rings. What's this? What's this about? He brings Beaz in. He's got the hookup. He'll do the sale with Skinner. So just like that, it was done. So that's how I got on the show. And so because of two factors. One, I'm a science buff and I like to work. So Mark and Digger have kept me around as a still hand. You know, I've had many, many episodes just running a still. So that's a plus in my column. But the other things, I have been in showbiz for so long. I know so many people in and around Nashville and in and around the business. So last season I sold to Willie Nelson's granddaughter, Raylan Nelson, who is an amazing punk rock country act who is really great. So I get to do some fun stuff, man.
That's all that matters, having a good time, you know. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, you know, let's have a great time. Let's enjoy it for what it is. Even if it's a bad time, let's turn it into a great time, you know. Why not? Make the best of everything.
And you know what? And we have
ahead,
that
Will.
power. We can make that decision to make it a great time. You're absolutely right, dude.
Yep, that's
So-
our decision on how we're going to spend this time, and you know, let's make the best. Even when it's bad, let's make the best of it. Ain't nothing like a little smile, a little laughter. You can't help and cure. So it goes a long way. That's
And dude, it's in the Bible. A
Yep.
merry heart doeth good like a medicine.
So do you have like small rig at home that you make stuff for yourself with?
I cannot answer that question, sir.
All right. Well done.
I am in a subdivision. I am in you know what I'm talking about? Subdivision where they scrape every living thing off the face of the earth, and
I
they
understand.
12 houses in a 3-house spot.
So you know what an HOA is then.
My
Yeah,
neighbor farts, my pillow flies off the bed.
I got you.
And I am the only beatnik here. There
Gotcha.
is doctors, it's educators, so I am.
Nice.
I am a stalwart figure in the community, sir. When I actually go to the third bay of my garage and crank up an electric steel with a thermostat, it keeps you from scalding your mash.
I don't think so. Think so. Now, theoretically, if you could make things at home for yourself, what would you like to make? What do you like to make for you to drink?
I like brand. If and I'm glad you asked that. If I were distilling, I think is the term people use. I like brandies. I like brandy.
My man.
So do we.
I like brandies. Little bit different mash in thyme with grains. You know, obviously a little bit different animal, but I like brandies. That's fun to me. I like brandies.
Yeah.
So you know, fruits are fun.
They are. Good old peach brandy, man. Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like a good old peach brandy.
Right. And I've got pear trees in the yard and so forth and so on. And squirrel. Squirrel is a brandy. Okay, I'm wrong on that one. But anyway.
So
I try it. So you distill it, I'll try it.
So you were asking me about my brand earlier about through Sugarland. So
Right.
if I'm not mistaken, you've got a little something going on somewhere as far as a label.
Yes, I do.
Talk a little
Sean,
bit about that.
And here's what is such a coincidence. I happen to have a jar of the Killer Beaz Appalachian Ambrosia Moonshine.
Man, I gotta give me a jar of that.
It is distilled by South Mountain Distillery.
Nice.
Big Nick Callow or Kalo? How do you say his last name?
Flip a
You know,
coin.
Big
I don't
Nick.
know.
I just know Big Nick.
Big Nick is on that label. JB Raider and I are label mates with this. But the Appalachian Ambrosia is we're shooting for the female demographic on that. It's a low proof. It's 60 proof, so it's palatable. It's a fruity drink. It's got mandarin orange, coconut, maraschino cherries.
Nice.
It kind of is reminiscent of the old ice cream, the dreamsicle, the orange sherbet and vanilla. It's sort of that kind of a flavor. And on the label I have She Shed approved. And I put
Nice.
oh, I know, man. I put some other little stuff, Night Your Nana's Moonshine, Enhance Your Dance. It's my party. I'll shine if I want to.
That's amazing. Hey,
You know,
that's
for the
where the
females
money's
in
at,
regret.
you know. Sell it to the ladies, because the ladies are where the money's at. You know, that's who's selling more jars.
Somebody's got to do it. And
That's
on
right.
the label, I added, makes 30% of husbands look hot again. And the feds, get this, Sean, the feds denied my license, booted it out of the system, scolded me, told me, you cannot prove it makes 30% of husbands look hot again. So evidently somebody that was 45% ugly was doing my thing. So I had to move that. I had to remove that one line.
Okay.
But,
I mean,
but
I guess
now we're up and running. It's available at moonshineinternational.com. I think they can ship to like 37 states. We're in Kentucky, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and starting September 1, it goes into the ABC stores in my home state here in Alabama. So we're pretty pumped up about it. So thanks for asking.
Do you know if if it gets shipped to Ohio?
I do not know, sir.
Well,
not my bailiwick.
Marty, here we'll find out. We'll find out. So.
Cool, brother.
Hell yeah! But so you said Alabama. So I know a few boys down in Alabama. Old Jimbo and Johnny Griffiths.
Oh yeah, man, I love them, man. I've known Johnny Griffiths a long time. As a matter of fact, Johnny Griffiths helped us with the original recipe of the Appalachian Ambrosia. As a matter of fact, Johnny and I have done some projects together, some film stuff together. He's good people. He's good.
Oh
people.
Yeah.
I don't know Jimbo as well. I've only met Jimbo one or two times, so I haven't seen him as much. But I've had a lot of face-to-face with Johnny. Okay. Stuff we can't really discuss, Sean.
Right.
You get it. So you get where I'm coming from, sir.
Oh, I understand completely. So
yeah,
a lot.
When you're in the top level of security and espionage, you really.
Yeah, even when you're in the bottom level, there's still some things you just can't talk about.
Yeah, or that.
Hey,
or if you're just married.
That's right. You know,
that's why it's nice to have friends in low places, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you always need some buddies to do some sketchy shit, and those same buddies gonna be the one that bust your balls when you make a mistake. So that's how it should be.
Dude, I know. My wife was busting my balls the other day. She did it by throwing her purse on the floor and stomping it.
Your wife must know my buddy LeMaster's wife.
Did it?
Yeah, his balls are in hers.
Yes.
Look at this genius stuff flowing. World's greatest podcast. Joe Rogan's gonna be like, "Who are these guys?"
Oh man, we're just a couple of dumbasses from Ohio that like drink liquor, talking about
might be
stuff.
three.
Just have a good time. As long as we're having a good time, that's all that matters. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, what's the biggest still you've gotten to run on the show, off the show, in a distillery, or anything like that?
Well, I've had some cool stuff. One time I opened a concert for it was me. This was at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway the night before the first ever Brickyard 400. Okay, before the first thing, I opened a concert. I was actually on the poster. This is some of my stuff I did with Skinner. I did some projects with them. I did 3 minutes for several $1,000s. because you cannot do stand-up comedy at a festival type rock concert where they're showing their boobs and smoking doobies, and you can't do stand-up. You go up for 30 seconds, hey, thank you, are you ready to rock?
Yeah.
And then you get paid to hang out. But 120,000 people were there. That's the biggest live audience I have ever worked. And it was me. Follow me was a band called Pride and Glory, which is a guitar player named Zach Wild. He was Ozzy's guitar player. He went on to have a band called Black Label Society. So it was me, Zach Wild's band, 38 Special, Bad Company, Ted Nugent, and Skinner. So me and corporate are at this thing, and I'm actually on the bill. So I go up, I do my little, I've been doing this, I've been at this a long time, so I knew not to go try to tell jokes. You know what I'm saying? I knew better. So I go up and go, yeah, it's going to be, whoa, and I go get my check, and I'm like, look at this. So my wife and I are hanging out backstage. They have catering, and this was like a huge rock star show. So they had big giant steaks and stuff on grills had brought in. So we go back there, and we're loading up plates up. We get all this just badass grub. And so we sit down, and as we sit down, we look up, and there's this girl that had gone through catering that's like real tall, beautiful, real leggy, real tall girl with a little tray, and every time she'd get near people, they would all turn their backs on her, or they would just walk away. And my wife's like, look, everybody's shunning this chick. What is up with that? So she is walking back and forth. So my wife says, hey, come sit with us. She goes, oh, thank you. She comes over, she sits down, she sits straight across from me. Gorgeous, big, tall, gorgeous girl. I say, because I'm just stupid and I say something, I go, dude, why is everybody running from you? And I swear, y'all, she says, Ted Nugent's my daddy. So he put the word out to all the roadies, all the crew. If anybody talks to my daughter, I will kill you. This was back when he was pulling a guitar on stage and shooting it with a flaming arrow.
That's awesome.
On his at the end of Stranglehold. So that is something we still think about, and that's been a quarter century ago, man. But that was so funny. Yeah, Ted Nugent, my daddy. We're like, wow.
That's awesome. Some things you just never forget,
Oh, I know, man. I know it has been an amazing thing. So touring, you forget what town you're in, so it's just.
I think that happened to me this weekend.
Right, man. So it is a dream come true gig, though. Literally, if you have a job you love, you never work a day in your life. That's
right, man.
Yeah, and that's totally true for half the day. Here's what people don't know about people in showbiz, performers, or me, I guess, is I work morning, noon, and night.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm on tour, I'm up early morning doing local radio or TV news in the markets that I perform in. So I work around the clock. It's not just go chill and then walk on stage at 8:35 and do an hour and walk off.
And I would imagine that even when you're out in your regular day life, you're still working, you meet people and you got to play the part. You always got to play the part when you meet somebody,
Hey, and even when you don't meet them, and I'm glad you brought that up, dude, even when you don't meet people, because a lot of people will not come up and speak to you, but even when you don't meet them, you are setting an example.
Yes.
Yeah. That's something we all have to remember. Even if you're not in a showbiz life, we all set examples. If somebody at Walmart sees me push a cart back where it belongs or go to some elderly person or whatever and let me move their cart back for them, when people see us do the right thing, it registers with them. So that's something else that I just want to say, that's what we all need to be doing is sucking it up and doing. The Bible says, above all else, love one another. I really, in my life, want to see more of that. So I just share that because that's on my heart every single day.
So I've got a random. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Oh, so I got a random question for you, Killer. So, as far as being a comedian, aside of yourself, who's your favorite comedian?
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
Right up front. Since I was a little boy, he's silly, he's funny. My type stand-up comedy, if people have not seen me, I'm a storyteller, and it is happy, upbeat comedy. I'm not a put-down artist. I don't do dark stuff. I don't complain. I don't put people in their place. I bring levity. I want people to get to see silly, fun stuff that keeps them away from all that crap that piles up on everybody all day long, every day.
As somebody who's act is clean and family and love, and has it made it harder to succeed as a comedian, or do you find that you got your own niche and that love is spread easily and well accepted, and it's made it easier?
Well, answer is yes to both of those.
Okay.
Working cleaner makes it harder.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this, 42 years into it, I was not a clean comic this entire time. I was the bluest of the blue. I am a bone crusher. I'll just say that unabashedly. But as I mature, as I grow as a person, I realize the higher road is to work clean, but be as devastatingly funny anyway. And
well done, sir.
That's where the nut cutting takes place.
Yes, sir.
Because it is so much easier to do blue material and get that instant audience response. You have to be a bone crusher to get that same kind of response doing a clean set. And I've been in it long enough that I like taking on that challenge. Nobody has ever complained that a show was not dirty enough if it's funny enough.
That's right.
So that's where the bar is set, and it is way high, and it is hard to do, especially with the dynamics and the mood of America this day and age. You have to suck it up and touch people with the images you create in their head from the stage this day and age. You're going to work clean.
Yeah. Well, more people are going to remember you for a positive experience than they are a negative experience. A positive experience is going to stick with a person a lot longer. Like fill a person's heart and they'll love you longer.
You know what? I have to agree with you like that. I do, man. I love good people that do good things, and I think most of us do. So I think you're on the target with that.
Now, you do shows all the time. Are you based out of one place most of the time, and then you tour around? And if so, when can we come see you and where at?
Yeah. Well, I live in Mobile, Alabama, which I do not do lots of shows when I'm at home in Mobile. One, I like to have my little fortress of solitude here at Fort Beaz, which is what I call my house.
Nice.
When you do your job in front of hundreds or thousands of people, every time you do your job, it is really a relief to get back inside the four walls of your home, watch your TV, hug your little dog, cook on your grill, that kind of stuff,
Yep.
There is not a comedy club. There's not a comedy scene in Mobile, which is really kind of neat for me. I worked out of Nashville for many years, and Zany's Comedy Club was my home club. And if I were going to say my headquarters or my home club, I would claim Zanies in Nashville. But other than that, I'm 42 years into it. My wife, corporate, and I own the company that books me. And this day and age, we do more of theaters because I can make as much in a night as a theater that people make in a week at a comedy club. In great part because of my tenure on Moonshiners. You know, you hear the sound of my voice, my demographics, my fans love that anyway.
Yeah.
So that has helped me a lot. And my wife and I we're really devout Christians, and we're very active in our church, and we think we're getting blessed for the tithing and the work that we do. You know, I mean, that's something else that is cool about my life. My wife and I are in charge of the homeless outreach at our church. We feed people, we cook, we buy, our house is full of food and stuff, clothing, socks, all that we just try to help other people with. So it's all good in my life, man. I'm just a happy person, and it hasn't always been this way. You know, I've been through a lot of darkness in the past almost 70 years, and it's really cool to get to share part of my heart and philosophy with people from the stage. That's why I don't do blue material. I don't pick on people. I'm not a put down guy. And it amazes me that I'm in a position to do that. You know, so it's really cool to get to do it and to get to shoot for what we're shooting for. You know, and we're like everybody else. We're just human. We fail. But holy moly, I can't believe the words coming out of my mouth, Sean. Yeah, I mean, I just tell y'all, I changed my life a few years back, and you know, and I do not fret. I don't fret over stuff. I don't worry. I take every day as it comes. I have faith, and I do what I love doing, and it's all good, man.
You never know when your last day is. You know, that's
you
the
do
thing.
never know.
Live it to the fullest. But
make the best of what you got right now, and even when the situation's bad, you know, let's make the best of it. You know,
and two, we can serve others, man. Set that example that makes other people go, hey, I want to act like that. That's the big deal. Make a total stranger goes, you know what, I'm opening the door for the next person I see that walks up to, you know, whatever. I mean, that's to me is a big part of it. Inspire somebody else to do better, and you can do it without speaking a word.
It takes a lot less effort to spread kindness. A lot less effort to spread kindness.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Depends on how
So what's the smallest still you've ever had the chance to run, and what's the largest still you've ever had a chance to run?
Well, I'm going to think 350 gallons would be the largest one. I don't know if that's what Big Sloppy is, but I've run those big, giant, the Twins and Big Sloppy.
Yeah, nice.
For Mark and Digger.
Amazing.
And I have not run anything smaller than a 30-gallon.
Nice.
So I've been very pampered. I've not had to go through the trials and tribulations of having a 5-gallon or a 2-gallon sitting on the stovetop, because it is so hard on a small still to get smooth liquor. That is something that I've learned through observation and hanging with people. You need, time, the amount of time it takes you to heat up. Time is a big deal in distilling, or maybe the how rapid you heat. Maybe that's what I should have said instead of time. But that makes so much of a difference in my experience. Is you know, you hear low and slow all the time, but to me, that is the holy grail, is low and slow. Sean, when I did my master distiller, I got 4 jars for the entire run. I mean,
Okay.
dude, I dripped it. And it was 30-gallon stills. We had a short window. So I only poured like 10 gallons of mash. I didn't fill it up. So that was one of the things that I did that helped me with to win. That was I didn't have to push it to get my mash heated up to where I was.
I remember watching your episode. Like, I watch them all, but I remember watching yours. Like, it's well played, man. You know, it worked out, and it was cool. It's cool to watch somebody take a different route as everybody else, and you know, it still works out. It's like it's what it's all about watching the show. You know, you see all these different guys do things differently, and at the end of the day, they're all hand in a jar. So, my bad, Sean. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So tell everybody, the people that may not have watched it, what it was that you made on there, and just how your experience was.
Right, man. I actually made the Appalachian Ambrosia on there. I actually made this product who no home should be without. Did I mention that? That no relationship should have to do without this. Okay, so school's in session, a tablespoon of this every morning for a 5th grader. Okay, I should have said that. But anyway.
For a parent with a 5th grader or any grader.
Yeah, your soccer moms. That's the soccer mom's best friend.
That's right.
What were we talking about?
It's available on that website. I done forgot it. Beaz will tell you what it is.
Moonshine International.
There you go. It was quite a few states, Ohio included. That's the only state I cared about it shipping to. But $29.99 for a jar. What price? Do you know?
You looked it up.
Oh hell yeah, I did. I got one in the cart already.
Nice.
Make that too.
Yeah, I was going to ask Sean afterwards. Like, hey, bro, you just want me to add you one of these? Like, what are we doing? So.
Good for you, man. Good. I'm not supposed to say this, but I get a lot of people laid. I'm not supposed to say it. You didn't hear it from me.
I tell you, it better. If it's going to work around here, man, it better be a really good jar.
Well, good deal. I appreciate the vote of approval there.
That's right. So I'll let you know. I won't tell you any details because I don't want to ruin you, but I'll let you know.
Well, you know that's just it. Talk about the women, right? That's 70% of your market.
Yeah.
You know, women like it. The men are going to buy it.
And
I just figured it was fun to do. You know, it was something neat. I had an offer from the distillery to do it. I'm like, you know what? Well, that would be a cool thing. And then I actually got to make it. We did an episode of Moonshiners entitled Appalachian Ambrosia. And then I also made it on Master Distiller. So it just made sense to go with that. I was going to do pecan pie. I went to Walmart. I bought 50 pecan pies. And I rode this cart up to self-checkout. And I was going, beep, beep, beep. And this lady in a Walmart vest come over. She goes, dude, you're killing me. How many of those you got? I go, I got 50. Okay, well, move. Let me do my little key in there. So she puts it, she's doing the thing so we don't have to scan everyone. And y'all, she turns to me. She goes, what are you doing with all these pies? And without thinking, I went, I'm going to make moonshine.
That's I said the same thing.
And dude, you would have thought that I had told her I was going to bomb a building or something.
Really?
She got quiet. Got over to the edge of the thing like I was going to murder her. Oh my gosh.
People ask that all the time here in the city, man. You tell them, they're always like, can I get a jar? Can I get a jar? Like, I don't know what it is around here. I'll go into Myers and buy 100 pounds of bananas, and they'll be like, what are you doing with this? And I'll be like, I'll make moonshine. Like, bro, bring me a jar back.
When I do interviews and stuff around the country, like on radio stations or morning news things around the country, I have to tell people, quit asking for moonshine on Facebook. It is amazing, man. The message is like, you don't know me. That's how it started. You don't know me. And I'm like, you're right.
You're right. Can I get a jar? You don't know me. Can I get a jar? Hey,
That's
you don't
how-
know me. Will you ship me a jar? How much for a jar? I bet I get 100 messages a day asking for a jar.
I'll tell you,
No.
My granddaddy, everybody I've met's granddaddy was a moonshiner. My granddaddy used to run moonshine.
That's the best part about it. Just the stories
Dude,
that
it's
you get
fun.
to hear.
I love it, man. I absolutely love getting to do it. So
One of my favorite things is when like you go to these festivals and people come up and they're scrolling through their phones, showing you their stills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I started this, a couple of years ago because, I watched the Moonshiner show, and then to taste some of the stuff that they run is just, well, it's either amazing or it's, amazing.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's just so cool.
Yeah, it is, man. After my shows now, like out at the merch table, because I'll sign people's T-shirts and stuff for them, they will line up to give me samples of their product. It's in my Fireball. Okay, here's my cotton candy. Here's my salted caramel.
Try that.
Yeah,
we had a little moonshine festival this past weekend, and I bet Saturday I tried 50 different moonshines. Friday I tried about 30. Saturday it was up in the 50s, and it's try this. And I'm not one to say no. You like I said, hand me a jar. I'm trying it. Like I'm easy. You can roofie me. Do your thing, man. Just hand me a jar. I'm trying it. I don't care what it is. Even if I don't like it, I'm still got to try it. I'm respectful.
Yeah, there's that protocol, dude. That's a protocol. That's in your release form with Master Distiller. That's that fine print. So here's how famous I am. A guy gave me a copper coonpecker the other day.
Really?
At my show. So you tell me that's not made it to the top.
There you go.
That's amazing.
Here, man, I make these coonpeckers out of copper. This is for you.
Nice.
So there's a joke.
Thank you, sir.
There's a joke that we have, like an inside joke going around. So if you ever hear the words, man, that's clean, it's not very good. I don't remember how that got started, but
that was from the jam a few years ago. I'm intrigued about the copper coonpeckers, So if that dude's listening, contact me. I'm interested. I'm interested in your copper pecker. So
at least it's copper, because if it's an coonpecker, I ain't gonna drink anything that comes across the coon stick.
Yeah, well, you don't want the brass pecker. You don't want the brass. They'll turn green.
That's right. You need a copper one.
Yeah, you want the copper.
Nice, awesome.
You don't want the green one. That'll turn your lips green. If you had the brass.
No green lips.
So, I know you got to learn a little bit from Mark and Digger. So, do you have a story of where, say, moonshine almost killed you, or you almost got hurt, or anything like that? Just a funny story when it comes to that?
Well, we got swarmed by yellow jackets while we were out filming, and that kind of sucked. And I had a bunch of heart attacks in 2021, 40 years of being on tour eating road food. So when I got out of the hospital and went back to filming, we set up at an old steel site that we hadn't been at in like 4 years, something like that. There's like this big chunk of plywood, 4x8, those big sheets of plywood. Yeah. And we're on that bussing up fruit, and there was a yellow jacket nest under it. And so they all flew out and stung us and stuff, and everybody wigged for a little bit because I was fresh out of having a whole bunch of heart attacks and crap. So they go stand out and see who swelled the most. But I didn't have any really bad effects from that, but I
Yeah.
haven't had any dangerous stuff other than almost getting blowed up trying to light those big giant steels of marking diggers. You know, they make those cores that
Yeah.
go through the middle, double burners, and they, you know,
Put up a
we
lot.
one thumb length apart for the slot, you know, that kind of stuff. So I've been on fire and things like that
Yeah.
because of film, because they think it's funny.
Normal,
That's
normal.
one of the things. They think it's fun to joke or prank the comedian.
It is funny. I will say that
If I was a
it's well
pipe
played.
welder or something, pipe fitter or welder, it wouldn't be as funny. But
No.
they love ragging on me, so I make them pay me.
Hey, as long as they pay you for it, hey, man, do what you want.
For
But
sure.
Sean, I haven't had any big close encounters with the consumption of moonshine. I got into the moonshining business late enough in life that I had already drank way too much before I got there.
Same here. I had a few instances, but yeah, I try not. If I go somewhere and there's a lot of people, I try to hand them jars. I try to get them drunk.
Same.
Yeah.
Not me.
They don't always work that way, but you can only hand so many, man. You got to receive quite a few.
What I know, that's that
It's gotta be
double-edged
a balance.
sword.
That's right. It's got to be a balance.
You got to be in it with them.
That's right.
You know, but yeah, man, this day and age, I've calmed down considerably, sir.
Understandable. So, do you have any shows coming up anytime
I
soon?
am. I'm in St. Louis coming up. Yeah, I think next month, and the week after next, I'm in Central Florida, Winter Haven. I think I'm gonna take off from touring during October because November's already totally filled up.
Okay.
And they need me to come back to East Tennessee for more filming with for Moonshiners. So gonna be not working quite as much right now. There's some more Grand Ole Opry appearances coming in. I've done 18 Grand Ole Opry appearances. So that's been really cool.
Nice. You got some more Grand Ole Opry appearances coming up?
Yeah, there's some more coming up. We're waiting for them to send it. They send me like 2 months, 3 months at a time.
Nice.
So it's all coordinating, and we did a new project, my wife and I, on the company that books me, and we partnered with a video production company and filmed 42 freaking comedians last month in 3 different cities, and so we're in the process of getting all the editing done. That'll be an Amazon Prime series.
Nice.
Called Killer Beaz Presents. So we've got all those in the can, which was quite a grind. Oh my gosh, that was any project. If it involves 42 comics, dude, that is herding cats. That is cat. Oh my gosh.
42 anything,
Yeah.
It's yeah. So well done.
Oh yeah, dude. We're talking about coordinating flights, hotel rooms, all that stuff. So, so we're gonna take a break here for a little bit. I'll do some filming with Digger and them, and a couple of little gigs. So I'm gonna knock off for a month or so because we've been so hard at it.
So do you ever? I know you said you kind of started. When you started, you spent some time in Dayton at some of them small shows, probably Wiley's Club.
I was going to say, I bet he was at Wiley's.
Do you ever plan on coming back to Dayton or anywhere around that area?
I may, and this sounds so weird to say, and I feel weird saying it, but I don't want I don't want to lie, but I make as much one night in a theater as I would make for 2 weeks.
That's true. Yeah.
We got
a real nice Masonic Center, real nice theater, Masonic Center here.
Right. So that's what we do these days. Just logistics, man. I'm old. I'm tired. I don't want to work 4 nights in a week. I'd rather go in and do one big show.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Hey, if it's how is it dollars and cents? If it don't make sense, it don't make dollars. Or if it's not gonna make dollars,
There
it don't
you
make
go.
sense.
That's right, Sean.
Well said, sir.
Yeah, well said, Sean. You tried. That's all that matters. Well, hey, Sean, looks like we're going to have to go to catch a Grand Ole Opry appearance here soon.
I'm down.
So,
We'll plan
Dude,
it.
that's a lot of fun doing the great. Man, there are superstars on the Opry. You know, and I try to be cool, you know, because I'm Killer Beaz, but I'll walk by some dressing room and I'll walk by and I'll went,
nice.
like, gee.
Send us
I'm
more
a
VIP
world.
passes. Send us more VIP passes, Beaz, and we'll make it down to the Grand Ole Opry.
Dude, we can, and we do that. Dude, we shot a Moonshiners episode in my freaking dressing room at the
I know.
Opry.
I watched it. I watch every episode. I watched that. It's
You see that sparkly red jacket?
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to try that on.
That was the same guy that made Porter Wagner. Yeah, really, man. It'd be no sleeves.
I still want it. You damn right. As long as they blow the doors off, I'll be a lot cooler. But that's amazing.
Well, man, I'm just having such a ball, guys. I got to tell y'all, man. Things
Yeah,
are
we are
going
too.
good.
This is
We're
amazing.
working. It's more work than we've ever done, but it is so rewarding, and we make so much progress that it's just a treat, dude. Every day's fun. Every day we wake up happy and thankful. So,
Yep.
Nice.
then you watch tomorrow suck. Tomorrow I'll wake up, there'll be water in the ceiling or something.
Hey, you
But
know, take it as it comes. Could always be worse. So
That's right.
you got that
as
right, buddy.
long as you're upright and breathing, man, that's all that matters. So let's have a great time.
Word. Well, man, I gotta say, man, I love being on Moonshiners. I love all the people I've met. I mean, from all over the country. I tell people all the time, they call them hillbillies, but they are geniuses. Geniuses wearing overalls, toting the spit cup. I mean, just the ingenuity, just the savvy, the smarts, man. These are smart people. And so that's another thing that impresses me and makes me enjoy doing the show.
And I tell you, we're some of the best people you'll ever meet. You know, the love and compassion we all have for each other and willingness to just accept somebody and give you the shirt off your back. You know, I think everybody can learn a lot from the hillbillies, you know, and how we treat one another. For the
I
most
believe
part.
it, dude. I absolutely believe it, brother. And it's been fun getting to witness and see that for the past 8 years on the show. So there's that.
I'm sure you got to see it firsthand, you know, go from being a comedian and they bring you in and then all of a sudden it's like, man, we're like brothers now. All of a sudden we're like a family, you know, they brought me in and we all love each other. Yeah, it is.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, man. All right, Sean, we got to jam sometime, dude.
Yes, sir. We'll get together.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining in. Mr. Beaz, Killer Beaz, it was a pleasure, man. I enjoyed listening to you talk.
Yes, sir.
Sean, I saw you all weekend. It was a little soon to see you again, but I'll take it. Well, we love all y'all. Beaz, stick around. Don't leave after we hop off here. If you give us a few more minutes of your time.
Thank you, brother.
Everybody have a great night. It was a pleasure. We were honored, Beaz. Everybody in the comment section. We'll see y'all next week at 9 o'clock. Everybody have a great night. Shine on.
Hold on.